creativity to me can eke its way into anybody's life in any direction. You just have, it's more opening up the box, letting something happen that comes unexpected and spontaneous. I find a lot of inspiration in the woods. That is my church. And you know, every week I will go absolutely nuts if I don't get on my mountain bike or get on my skis and get into the woods. And I get these inspiration not only with the colors. Of course, dusk is one of my favorite times to be out. That and I'm watching for mountain lions, you know. But I was coming down, I was riding my bike one evening, and I was struggling with a sculpture that was in my studio. And I couldn't figure out what to do with the next step. It wasn't right. And so I was riding actually outside of Apex Park and down by Heritage Square in Denver, Golden. And I'm coming down the downhill just as dusk, and I saw this big, tall, proud Canadian thistle. Purple bulb. It was beautiful. And it made me stop. And I said, there's my answer. That is my connection with the sculpture. And so I went back to the studio immediately, because you got it in your head, it's got to go. And you know, and I called this sculpture Diane, goddess of the hunter, you know, of the hunt, and filled her entire body up. I grew from my garden Canadian bull thistles, and for this installation filled her up with bull thistles. So yes, that's another moment of clarity. Wow, that's it. You know. In today's contemporary culture, I think that artists play a very important role, and I think that maybe it's a little misunderstood or not realized. I think after things like 9/11, I think it was really up to the artists. To me, when 9/11 occurred, I felt like a rip in the cosmic conscious. Now, I don't mean to be esoteric and everything like that, but it just seemed like there was a piece of our souls that was missing. And I felt like, I mean, after that occurred, it took a good 7 months. I did not create a piece. I did nothing. I mean, it was just shocked. And different events, you know, cultural, contemporary events can affect people in different ways. When I started creating again, it made me realize it's the artists, it's up to us to make sense of some of these things that happen and put them into terms and into places that help. I have opted to bring work to the streets as my primary place to show my work throughout the country. I mean, as far as Long Island, New York, I'm going to California, Oregon, last year was Washington, I've been down to Texas. I choose these venues over a gallery system, museums, and art centers. The reason being is that I feel like it allows a creative person like myself to take art to the streets. Because when I put a piece of art down in the street, I know that it may be visited in a summer's time by at least 1,000 people. And of those 1,000 people, maybe 15 of them will actually have the time or the opportunity to go to, I mean, a very small percentage, to go to a museum, to go to a gallery. And what it does is it takes art to the street level. It creates culture at a very grassroots level, where we can, where the folks, children, all ages engage. Sometimes they like it, sometimes they don't, but at least they're engaging with it. That piece is whimsical. It's all about play, and I will promise you that every person who comes up to that, no matter how busy their day is, no matter what they're thinking, no matter how complicated the texts are rolling and the phones are rolling, you know, the kids, the car, you know, all these things, the minute they go to spin that piece, at least for that moment, they get to clear their minds and have some peace with art. Just be entertained. And that is the role, I think, that, yes, artists help us on a cultural level to brighten our days, to make things a little less heavy. And make us realize or maybe look at things or spawn creativity where perhaps none exists at that point.